Hi guys, how you guys doing? That's good. I am doing fantastic. Anyways, today's verse is going to be from Acts. It's Acts 22:21, and and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Everyone. Everyone. Every single person who calls to God will be saved. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how much time you wasted. It doesn't matter how many horrible things you've done. If you call to God, God will save you. Paul was killing Christians, and then he became the spokesman of Christianity because he called out to God. That's just that's just a biblical example. There's people all around you who have other examples just like that. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna guess not many of them are I'm killing people, but like things of huge magnitude such as that. Like, I forget exactly what it was, but I know that somebody from oh man, I don't even remember. I just know that somebody who was fighting us in a war, like, forgot whether it was like Korean War or something. I don't remember. I don't want to say and get it wrong and feel stupid, so I'm just gonna leave that really generic. But like, he fought, he killed, etc. And he came over to America and opened a church. Yeah, like, he was killing, he was attacking, he was everything, and yet he gave it all up and he turned to God. Like, I think like while he was in prison or something, and then he opened a church. And as I said, like, not every example is radical like that. I mean, not everyone is going to be a killing machine, not everyone's going to be a war leader, but like, anyone who feels as if they can't do anything, they call up to God and they'll be saved. Anyone who feels like they've been just too rude, too mean, too ruthless in their life, call it to God and God will take you out. Anyone who feels as if they've just been too damaged, call to God and God will take you out. Like last school year I probably felt like I was too depressed, and yet God took me out. Because I was like, okay, it's been a while since I've done this whole Jesus thing. Like, I still had a faith, it was just very small. It just shrunk. And I called out to God, and God's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, you called, you asked for help, you realize that you're in a stuck place, and I'm gonna take you out. And he did. And like, it's any situation in which you feel as if you just don't deserve it. And he'll do it anyways. It doesn't matter who it is. And all that matters is the fact that your call is genuine. That's really it, is that you genuinely realize that you need help from God, from anyone, God. And God will get you out. And, then you realize, like, holy crap. And you stick with God. It's just, sorry. My brain is just thinking, it's interesting, like, so many people, if you go up to them, they're like, well, God couldn't love me. God will help anyone that asks. Just because, you pray like, hey, get me a girlfriend tomorrow, doesn't mean that you're gonna get a girlfriend tomorrow, and that doesn't mean God doesn't love you, it just means God is looking at you, he's like, that's not gonna help you get out of your rut. You might think it will, but it won't help you get out of your rut. And that's just the thing, is that we're really bad at being patient for God's salvation. Also, sorry, an important thing though to keep in mind is just the fact that God promised us as well, like in 1 Corinthians 10:13, he says, you'll be tempted. Like, crap will happen. Stuff happens. It sucks. Life will suck, but God will always make sure you have an out. Like, temptation will happen. You know, cute girl or cute guy will walk by and you'll be tempted. That happens to everyone. Like, that temptation is there. Or girl or a guy that you know that you shouldn't be hanging around will start flirting with you. Well, not so much hanging around. Sorry, wrong words. A girl or guy that you know, like, wants more than you want starts flirting with you, and yet, you know, you have that temptation. Like, do you go and sleep with them? Or do you make sure you keep it, you know, clean? There's a temptation, and that's a temptation people get every day. And it's up to you to decide, like, you know, do I want to, or do I not want to? Do I want to, or do I not want to? But the thing is that God will always give you an out. That's the important thing. Is that God will always give you an out of every bad situation. Out of every situation you shouldn't be in, there will always be an out. For example, like growing up. If my parents let me know that if I was ever in a situation that I really didn't want to be in, I could use my parents as an out. Like, if my friends invited me somewhere and I really just didn't think that was a good idea, I could come up with an excuse that was like, my parents were like, no, or my parents wanted me to be grounded. Or, like, I could call my parents and be like, yo, you know, like, send them a text going, I need to be picked up, and call them and be like, oh, man, my mom's being such a downer, etc. Like, you know, they were always an out. God will always give you an out. I'm not saying that God's gonna, you can be like, but God told me not to. No, but, like, you know, if girl or guy is being really, like, insistent that you go and sleep with them, there will be an out. If your friends are doing drugs and, you know, you're not really feeling that's not your thing, you don't think that's the right thing for you to be doing, there will always be a way for you to get out of that situation. There will always be a way for you to get out of the temptation. Because temptations are not of God. But the way out of temptations are from God. So, that's the thing to remember. Is that anytime you call to God, God will answer. Everyone who calls out on the name of the Lord will be saved. And then also in 1 Corinthians, there's no temptation that God does not give you a way out of. That's the two things to know. Okay? Thank you for watching. I hope that y'all have a fantastic evening. And I will talk to you later. Toodles!